Hello, folks, and welcome back. This is Colonel Retired Chris Wyatt in central Pennsylvania. For the better part of nearly a year, the entire crux and focus of the Joe Biden campaign running against Donald Trump for president was Trump is a threat to democracy. Joe Biden actually called for someone to take him out, called for him to be assassinated. Can you believe that? Well, we've seen 2 assassination attempts. Is it any surprise after hearing the rhetoric from Joe Biden himself and from the Democrats? But Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Really? So let me ask this basic question as the left has continued this narrative ever since they forced Biden out of the race and anointed Kamala Harris. If in fact it's true that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, why are we holding elections on November 5th, 2024? If Trump is truly a fascist, if he's a totalitarian dictator wannabe, why did he peacefully and voluntarily leave office on January 21st, 2021? Why didn't he just hold on to power? I mean, if he were truly a fascist like Hitler and Mussolini, he never would have left power. Folks, Donald Trump was a resounding winner in the Republican primary season for this election. Republicans overwhelmingly chose Trump at the ballot box, despite the media's efforts to claim that Nikki Haley was popular. That's nonsense. Trump swamped the rest of the field. But Democrats appropriated the nomination from Joe Biden and the 14.5 million Democrat voters who selected Biden during the Democratic primaries. You see, Kamala Harris was selected, not elected as the nominee. Trump is the threat? Trump is not the one who aided and facilitated the invasion of America by tens of millions of criminal alien invaders. That was Harris, as the borders are. Harris abrogated our sovereignty, not Donald Trump. Harris also drove rents sky high with the housing crunch after flooding our cities and towns with criminal alien invaders, depressed real wages for American citizens, especially Black and Latino Americans, and endangered public safety by allowing nearly 15,000 convicted murderers out of 650,000 convicted criminals into our homes and neighborhoods. Now, Trump is not the one who watched a Chinese spy balloon fly across sensitive missile sites in the Dakotas, military bases in the Midwest and on the East Coast, and then out to sea in the Atlantic before finally shooting it down after the Chinese spy plane completed its espionage mission on America. That was Biden and Harris, not Trump. A threat to democracy? Let's see. Trump negotiated the Abraham Accords, the most significant peace accord in the history of the Middle East, bigger than Camp David Accords, bringing peace to the Middle East. Biden and Harris and their juvenile foreign policy and idiotic domestic policies have spooked the energy markets and undermined global security, driving oil prices sky high. State sponsor of terror, Iran, gained a windfall of $195 billion from the increased price of petroleum as a consequence of Biden-Harris failed policies. 79% of Americans recently polled said that the country is headed in the wrong direction. That is an astoundingly high figure, 79%, which includes, obviously, even Democrats. Yet Kamala Harris is campaigning that we need change. Well, we do need change, and it ain't you, sweetheart. Harris and her surrogates are acting as if Donald Trump has no track record in office. Both Trump and Harris both have track records. The thing is, his is a lot more impressive than hers. And that's why they're acting as if he's never served as president and claiming that he wants to be a dictator. Well, he wasn't a dictator when he was in office. Harris keeps saying that Trump is divisive, all the while calling him names and personally attacking him. Who's being divisive here? Now, leftists use lawfare at every turn to prevent Trump administration from leading the country when he was president, running to the Ninth Circuit Court in San Francisco to block Trump executive orders and also to prevent Trump from actually adhering to existing law. Yet every single time, if the Ninth Circuit or any other court imposed an injunction, Trump and his administration complied with that until it was overturned. Meanwhile, the Biden-Harris regime constantly attempts to do end runs around the courts, especially the Supreme Court of the United States, and especially when it comes to the bankrupt morally and financially decision to forgive student loans. The Biden-Harris Justice Department under Meritless Garland, the Attorney General, who is still bumhurt over Republicans not voting on his nomination to the Supreme Court, is suing the state of Virginia for removing ineligible people from the voter rolls. No, I didn't mumble. I didn't stumble there. The Justice Department is suing the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, because they are complying with Virginia state law in removing people not eligible to vote from the voter rolls. Now, never mind that this law, one that was signed by Democrats several years ago, is on the books. Trump is a threat to democracy. Which democracy? You see, America is not a democracy, folks. We are a constitutional republic, not a democracy. We're not a country that's run by mob rule. Now, perhaps they mean a threat to democratic norms. Again, which country? Afghanistan, Ukraine, Myanmar, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali. These are all countries that have slid backwards on Biden's watch with wars or military coups, human rights abuses, all aided or abetted by the Biden-Harris regime. Ladies and gentlemen, the threat to democracy, the threat to our constitutional republic is Joe Biden, the Democrats, and the Republicans in name only who sit in the House and in the Senate. That's the threat. And the elites in corporate America and the global world corporate boards. Not to mention a number of governments in Europe that are a threat to representative government. No, Donald Trump is not a threat to democracy. He may be the savior for our constitutional republic if people make the right decision on November 5th, 2024. What say you? Cheers, folks, and God bless.